Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap with my opinion on 90 Day Fiance Season 9 Episode 3, Pinot You Didn't. And the reason they titled it that is because Wish, who is Binium's sister, she threw her red wine, in Ari's face. Alright, let's get started. So the first couple is Bilal and Shida. We see Bilal in the kitchen. He's making Shida tea. And she's in the bedroom and she's making the bed. It's the next morning. I'm pretty sure they did the beast with the two backs, but since they're religious, they probably won't discuss it on camera. So Bilal is doing a confessional and he's bitching about Shida's reaction to the rundown house she had to stay in. So he brings her tea, and he's wearing a t-shirt that says, "Be grateful." I think he should be wearing a t-shirt that says, "Don't be an asshole." So he tells her that he has errands to run, and they're going to have lunch with his mother later. Shida apologizes to him for the way she acted the day before. She asks him if he can take care of her because she won't be able to work for a while. And he basically says yes. Then they hug and they kiss and he leaves out. And Shida tells the camera that she apologized to Bilal for peace because her family is far away and he's the only person she knows in this country. And I think that was smart. Because, she has to keep the peace, right? So Shida calls her mother. She shows her mother the peeling ceiling, and her mother laughed. And I laughed along with her. I thought it was so funny when the mother started laughing. I loved it. Her mother wonders if Bilal rented his suits, because I guess when he went to visit them in Trinidad, he was wearing expensive suits. Look at my hair blowing. I have the fan on. My hair already look messy, so it doesn't matter if it blows, right? So anyway, yeah. Bilal, what's her name? Shadia's mother wondered if Bilal rented his suits when he came to visit them in Trinidad, because I guess he was wearing expensive suits. And she finds the whole situation hilarious. And I thought she would be pissed, but she thinks it's funny. She has a great attitude. She basically told Shida to turn apples into oranges. Her mother gave her some good advice. Her mother told her to give him a chance to prove himself. She said, but if he's a lazy SOB, then jump on the next thing smoking and bring your butt back home. That's what she told her daughter. I like the mother. I do. I like the mother. I hope we get to see more of her. The next scene is Bilal is getting ready to take Shida to the real house. But he tells her that they're going to have lunch with his mother. I think he's such an ass. He tells her that if his mother doesn't like her, then he will not marry her. That just could not be me. Couldn't be me. So they pull up to a nice house. They go inside and he says to her, "Welcome to your new home." And she's happy. I would think that he's playing a trick on me. I would think that he's a realtor, so he took me to some realtor's house, some house that's on the market, and he's playing a trick on me. I would have to see some personal items of his to be happy that, okay, yes, this is the house. Because he played one trick on me before. What's to stop him from playing another trick on me? So I don't know. But in her confessional, she said she doesn't trust him now. And I wouldn't trust him either. And that's what he gets. He's a dummy. So she gets emotional when she sees a yoga room. He had a yoga room set up for her. And Bilal, he's still worried that she wants him for what he has and not for himself. And I think that's stupid. He's putting himself down. He's saying that he doesn't think she can love him for himself. He's actually putting himself down for thinking that way. So anyway, that's the end of Bilal and Shida. Next is Eve and Mohammed. We see Eve putting rose petals on the bed in the shape of a heart. She's getting ready to go pick up Mohammed from the airport. She's very excited. And I think she's acting overly excited for the camera. Yeah. She has for him a bouquet of roses and a gift. So she gets to the airport. And they see each other. And they hug and they kiss. And I hate his haircut. I don't like it. In his confessional, he said when he saw Eve at the airport, he showed her affection and he felt weird because he can't do that in Egypt. Well, you're not in Egypt anymore, Mohammed. Okay? So you better get with the program. We hug and kiss over here, okay? And we do a lot more than that too. Some of us do a lot more than that. Anywho, Mohammed said that he had his first taste of freedom. Poor baby. To him, that's freedom. To be able to hug and kiss in public, that's freedom. Okay, whatever. He said he felt like he was born again. Damn. That's some strong feelings. He said the flight was so long, he felt like he walked from Egypt. He has a good sense of humor. I like that. That was funny. He said he feels like he's dreaming and he's scared to wake up. Aw, poor baby. Should pinch yourself. But I'm excited for him because it's a whole it's a whole new world. I can't say that. It's a whole new world he's entering into. Okay, you got it, Karen. You got it. Anyway, Eve said in her confessional that she is worried that Mohammed is leaving a country to come to be with her. You should have thought about that before you made him leave his country. You worried about that now? She said he also lived with his mother who took care of him. Well, now he's living with you and you got to take care of him. They should have discussed all of that before she applied for that visa. And Eve is worried that he may miss his country. Of course he's going to miss his country, but will he miss his country more than he wants to be in the States? Who knows? Because I'm from Jamaica. I came to Jamaica when I was 11, and there's certain things I miss about Jamaica, but I'd rather live here than live in Jamaica. So he's going to miss some things about his country. And it's too late to worry about that now. He's here. So what are you worrying about that for? You're worrying unnecessarily. You should have worried before you applied for the visa. And you should have discussed that with him before you applied for the visa. Anyway, Mohammed said that his religion prevents him from living and sleeping with Eve, but he considers Eve to be his wife, and his mother says it's okay. So he thinks it's okay with God as well. Mohammed, he's a trip. I'm going to enjoy him. I think he's a trip. So they get to the house, and she's showing him around. In his confessional, he said that her house is twice as big as his house in Egypt. And he's happy about that. So she takes him into the bedroom, and it's an ordinary bedroom, but she makes a big deal out of it. And there's a gift on the bed for him. He opens it up, and it's a wedding ring in the shape of a crown. And I think it's ugly, but he puts it on his finger, and he seems to like it. In his confessional, Mohammed said the perfect woman will love him like his mother. And there's this YouTuber that I watch, and she did not like Mohammed. She think Mohammed is here to improve his life. She think Mohammed is going to use Eve as a mother figure and not as a wife. And she just does not like Mohammed. She think Mohammed is not here for true feelings. But him saying that the perfect woman will love him like his mother, I'm thinking that he means the perfect woman. There's no such thing, Mohammed, but the perfect woman would have unconditional love for him the way his mother has unconditional love for him. That's what I'm thinking he means. So the YouTuber that I watch, she thinks that Mohammed wants a mother figure for a wife, or wants a mother, not really a wife. He also said that he wants someone who prepares everything for him and make his life easier. And that's how it was in the olden days. And in some countries, that's the way it is. The women break their backs to make the men happy and comfortable. My grandfather would bring his paycheck home and give it to my grandmother, and that's all he would worry about. He would come home to a hot meal, his clothes is laundered. He wouldn't have to worry about sweeping, mopping, dusting, doing anything domestic. He'd just go to work, come home, hand her his paycheck, and everything was taken care of for him, you know? The only thing he did was mow the lawn, and he had a garden where he grew tomatoes. But, you know, and my grandmother, she was a nurse, and she had a part-time job. I don't know how she did it, but that wouldn't be me. I need somebody who is going to, you know, works beside me. I work, he work. We both clean the house up. We both do things equally. That's what I want. But that happens in the olden days, and it happens in some countries still. So she knows this. Eve knows this. So she should be prepared to take care of him the way he wants to be taken care of. She knows him. She loves him. So she should already know this, you know? To each his own. So let me see where I am. Anyway, the YouTuber doesn't like it. She's dragging him. Oh, somebody got to take care of you. Oh, you're here. For a mother, not a wife, but she's just dragging poor Mohammed. But so far, I think he's okay. There's nothing wrong with him. But I just hope he knows that he, you know, when he can get a job, he should get a job and contribute financially to the household. He's got to contribute in some way. He can't just be here, you know. I should turn the fan off, I guess. But nah, I like the cool air. Anyway, she got him some shoes. And I don't know if it's house shoes or shoes that he can wear outside in public. But they're ugly. They are very ugly. Mohammed said Eve is older and mature and she is taking care of him. And if that's what they want to do, that's what they do. If she wants to take care of him, then she should take care of him. I'm pretty sure they discussed this before he got over here. You know? Me personally, I would not want to take care of a grown-ass man. That's not for me. So then she tells him that she didn't get the bidet. And I guess they discussed this bidet thing because you know, she's telling him that she didn't get the bidet, and he said in his confessional that he's upset that she didn't get the bidet. He said he wants the bidet because he prays several times a day, and he wants to be cleansed before he prays. So she better hop in and get his bidet. It's like, I think she probably promised him that she would get him this bidet if he came to the country. It's like, I'm in Jamaica. An American comes to Jamaica. We meet, we fall in love. And he says, come to America. You'll be living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo. And I come to America and I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Where is my condo with the 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms? You promised that to me. Get that right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what you promised me. That's why I'm here. So she promised him a bidet. Get him his bidet. The YouTuber I watched, she was pissed. She was like, hey, he wants a bidet. Who the hell does he think he is? He wants a bidet. Hey, she promised him a bidet. So she needs to get him a bidet. She talking about, well, can you put it together? No, get somebody to put it together. That's what she promised him, so she better get it. That's all I see. That's all I know. And then he says in his confessional that this is a typical American culture. I guess they say things and don't do what they say. He said in Egypt it's different. I guess in Egypt they do what they say. Well, welcome to America. Oh my gosh. He also said in his confessional that he sacrificed a lot for her, so she needs to sacrifice for him. And I agree with him. Hey, she brought him over here. She is the one that brought him over here. That's the end of Mohammed and Eve. Next up is Ari and Binium. So this is a prior couple. Ari and Binium, they are in Ethiopia. It looks like Binium just got his visa and they are both very happy. That's what it looks like. But she looks good. She lost a lot of weight and she looks good. When they were on before, I didn't like either of them. This is their story. She went on vacation, I guess, to Ethiopia. I guess that's where they met. She met him. They had sex raw. She got pregnant. She didn't know anything about his culture. Nothing. She didn't know anything about him. She didn't know anything about him. She didn't know anything about his culture. She didn't know anything about his finances. But she had sex with him raw. Got pregnant and had the baby. Then she bitched, moaned, griped, and cried when she found out that he had no way of supporting her and a baby. He wasn't able to provide a roof for them. A roof over their head. He wasn't able to provide that for them. And then his culture demanded that the baby be baptized and circumcised, which she didn't agree with. But she had to get it done anyway. Well, she didn't have to, but she decided to get it done anyway. And then she had the nerve to invite her ex-husband to stay with them. Then she goes back to the States because the baby had to have, I think, a hernia operation or something. So she takes the baby back to the States and promised to come back to Ethiopia, and she didn't. And while she was in the States and the baby was having the operation, he turns their apartment in Ethiopia into a little club or a little studio. And he was having parties and having people over. That pissed her off. And it's an apartment that her parents were paying for. This couple is a disaster, and now they're back. But this time they're going to be in the States, so I'm going to get a little bit of different footage from them, a little bit of different atmosphere from them. But my prediction is that Binium is not going to like the States because he likes Ethiopia. That's what he knows. His sisters are there, his family's there, his friends are there. That's what he knows, that's what he likes. I don't think he's going to like the States. He knows nobody there but Ari, and she's a bitch to him. But I think he's going to miss his friends and family. And I will say one good thing about Binium. I saw his music video on YouTube, Dancey Dancey, and I liked it. I loved it, actually. I did. He looked good. He was dancing. I'm not saying he's a singer. He's a good singer. But the video is nice. He's a good entertainer. He can dance. He can move. He can entertain. If he can get into the music industry here in the States, I think he'd be successful. Because he's good looking and he can dance. He can move. You know, he's a good entertainer. As far as Ari's concerned, I see her limiting his moves. She's going to be bossy, controlling. I think she's going to want him to just stay home with her and the baby and not go anywhere and not do anything. I think she's just going to want him to hang around her and her friends and family. That's my prediction for these two. Anyway, they'll be moving to the States in 3 days. Binium is worried that he hasn't told his family yet that he's going to the States. He was married before to an American, and I don't know what went wrong, but they had a kid, and she took the kid and went back to the States, and he hasn't seen that kid in over 3 years. And I don't know what happened. I don't remember what happened. I don't even remember if he talked about it. So Binium and Ari, they're having a discussion in the middle of the streets of Ethiopia. Ari tells him that she doesn't trust him, and they have a hard time communicating. But she wants to know if he wants to marry her. Anyway, he reassures her that he loves her. But she's saying, there was a time that you didn't love me, and you didn't want to marry me. So now he has to convince her in the middle of the streets of Ethiopia that he loves her, and they're older now, they're wiser, they're more mature, they're starting afresh. He has to convince her of this in the middle of the freaking street. I think she's a whiny, controlling little moron. And I want him to find somebody else that will treat him better. In her confessional, she said 90 days is not enough to work out their problems. The only problem she said she has with him is she doesn't want him hanging out in the clubs. That's the only problem she said she has with him. And if you feel that you can't work out your problems in 90 days, then leave him there in Ethiopia and stop holding his damn son over his head, saying that he won't be able to see his son if he doesn't marry her. If he doesn't go to the States and marry her, he'll never see his son again. So that's the reason I think he's doing it. He doesn't want to go to the States. If he doesn't go with her, he'll never see that baby again. She's holding that baby over his head. So next we see Ari at the hotel, and she FaceTimes with her mother. And both her and her mother are worried that Binium will not like where they're living because they're going to be living in the same apartment complex as her parents. So that means her parents are going to be around all the time. But I thought her parents had a house. I guess not. So her parents are going to be paying for the apartment that they're in. The parents are going to be paying for their apartment and Ari's and Binium's apartment. They're like Elizabeth and Andre. Elizabeth relied on her parents for everything. And so does Ari. She relies on her parents for everything. And Elizabeth also worked for her father. And Ari works for her father too. Her attitude sucks. She told her mother that she can't wait to get away from Binium's family so that Binium can deal with shit from her family. She wants tit for tat. So they show a clip of Ari talking to Binium's sister, and they were saying to her, I hope you're not going to take the baby and leave Binium and go back to the States and leave Binium. And that's exactly what she did. But when they said that to her, she got pissed and started saying the F word to them. So the next scene, we see Binium. He's in the studio with his friends, and he tells his friends that he's going to America in 3 days. And I feel bad for him because you can tell he does not want to go. So his friends are shocked. And his friends, they're worried because he and Ari argues a lot. His friend asked him if he's going to the States because of Ari or Avi. Avi is his baby. And he said he's going for Avi. But he says he also loves Ari. And he has still not told his family that he's going to the States. He's moving to the States. But Binium, I feel for you. But this is what happens when you have sex with a tourist raw. And then, because they tend to get pregnant and take your baby out of the country, and you'll never see that baby again. So next time, probably won't be the next time because you're supposed to be getting married to Ari, cover yourself up. Now he's in this horrible situation where he has to go to the States in order to be able to see his child. I think that's so sad. So Binium tells his friends that he is going to do a premiere of his video, Dancy Dancy. And it's going to be like he's going to have food and drinks and everything. And he's going to invite all his friends and his family. And when his family are all bellies full and they're all juiced up, then he's going to tell them, spring the news on them, that he's moving to the States. So His friends told him goodbye, and good luck, and he's gonna need it. The next scene is their last night in Ethiopia, and he still hasn't told his sisters that he's leaving for to move to the United States the next day. He hasn't told them yet. So, and he's sad and he's stressed out. He said he hasn't told them because he doesn't want them to hate him. Your sisters are not going to hate you, stupid. So Binium and Ari, they get to the venue, and everything is nice. It's nicely decorated with flowers, and it's just nice. It looks nice. Champagne, whatever. And then the sisters arrive, and they're very rude to Ari. They don't really greet her, and then they tell her they can't touch her because of COVID. And I'm disappointed in them. The least they can say is, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. But I don't know if they cut it. They did speak to her, and then the producers cut that part out because you know how messy they are. So they may have spoken to her, and then the producers cut that part out because they want his sister to appear to be rude and, you know. So they may have cut that part out. We don't know. So all his friends are there. His friends and family are there. They play the video. Everybody's dancing. Everybody loves the video. I love the video. Everybody's dancing, having a good time. So after the video, they pop champagne, and then he sits everybody down to tell them. And he's hemming and humming, and he just can't get it out. And then Wish, his sister, finally says, what is it? And he says, I got an American visa. I am leaving tomorrow to move there, is what he tells them. And Wish said, how can you tell us today that you are leaving tomorrow? So Binium lies. He lies. He said he didn't tell them sooner because he wasn't sure he was going. Because of how things are, how bad things are between him and Ari. He knew 3 days ago. 3 days ago he knew, and he told his friends. How come he didn't tell them 3 days ago? Everything was going fine 3 days ago with you and Ari. So stop lying, Binium. He's like he's scared of his sister. His sisters. And he's not speaking in English. He's speaking in, I don't know what kind of language they speak. He's speaking in his Ethiopian language. He's not speaking in English, so Ari can't understand everything that he's saying. So then his sister, Mimi, told him that he is not happy, so he should stop pretending to be happy. And I agree. He's not happy. He does not want to marry Ari. He does not want to go to the States. So then Wish says in her confessional that Ari is manipulative and she is a control freak. And I agree. She is a control freak. And she's manipulated him because if he doesn't marry her and go to the States, he will not ever see his son again. Wish says Binium tells them that he is unhappy with Ari. And he probably does, because every time they fight, he probably go tell his sisters, you know, what's going on, how unhappy he is. She is worried for him when he goes to the States. So am I, because who is he going to talk to? I mean, he can FaceTime his sisters, but they're not there with him. It's a difference, you know? I'm worried for him too, because she is going to bully the shit out of Binium. So Wish is telling Binium, he's letting Binium know that he should have given them a heads up. She said that both of them knew about this and they kept it a secret. So now here comes Ari. She's like, I didn't keep this from you. I didn't tell him to keep this from you. And Wish told her that she should have told them. And I don't agree with that. It's not her responsibility to tell his sisters that they're moving to the States when she doesn't even get along with them. So I don't agree with that. Binium should have told them the instant he knew that he was going to the States. But he didn't, because guess what? Binium is a coward. So Ari keeps saying, it's not my fault. It's not my fault, because they're saying you both should have told us. And Ari's like, it's not my fault. Just shut up, Ari. Just shut up. But no, she keeps talking about, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. And Wish said, I don't care whose fault it is. She said, if you consider us a sister, you should tell us. Then Wish said, we treat you like a sister. And Ari said, no, you don't. And I agree. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. They treat her like a sister when everything is going good between her and Binium. But when her and Binium are arguing and fighting, they don't treat her like a sister. That's what they do. And I've been in a situation like that before, and it's not good. And so Ari is saying, you don't treat me like a sister. She said, if that's how you treat us a sister, then I want nothing to do with it. And she's running off at the mouth. And then she just starts to bitch. She tells his sister that she is happy that she'll never see them again. So if she'll never see them again, that means they'll never see their brother again, and they'll never see their nephew again. She said, I'm happy I won't ever see you guys ever again. And she said that last time too. She said, I don't want to see y'all ever again. On the tell-all, the last time she said that too. She doesn't want anything to do with his family. She tells them that she's not marrying them. She's marrying Binium. And Wish took her wine and flings it in Ari's face and walks the hell off. And then Mimi follows behind her. That was rude. She shouldn't have done that. But that's what happened. And Ari is shocked that she did that. Ari's like, she just had wine all over her face, just all over her. In the confessional, Wish said Ari does not respect them, nor does she respect Binium. And she is psycho. Wish says Ari is psycho. She doesn't respect them, and she's psycho. She said they have 90 days, and she hoped they don't make it. The producer asks the sisters if they think that Binium and Ari will make it, and they both said no. And throughout this entire scenario, Binium is silent as a church mouse. Not saying a word, not doing anything, just there. Yeah, Binium is a coward. So that's the end of Binium and Ari. Next up is Jabri and Miona. Now I heard that these two were already married in Serbia. I heard that they were already married, so their storyline is a fake, which I find to be very disappointing, but we're going to review them anyway. Now, a few YouTubers were saying that Miona is trying to look black because she's doing hairstyles like clip-ins, braids, crochet braids, ponytails. So they're saying she's trying to look black. I say, leave the damn girl the hell alone. She can do any hairstyle she freaking want to. Leave her alone. And these are YouTubers that I subscribe to and watch faithfully. Just leave the damn girl alone. So what if she likes clip-ins and ponytails and braids and the hairstyle that most black people do? So what? Leave her the hell alone. Anywho, allow the girl to express the way she wants to express herself. Leave her alone. Anyway, Jabri is bragging. He picks her up from the airport and they walk out to the parking lot. And he's bragging about this truck. He says, see, that's the truck right there. That's not your truck, so why are you bragging on it? But anyway, he pulled down the tailgate and put her to sit on the tailgate, and he gives her gifts. And in her, she opens her gift, and it's a cowboy boots and cowboy hat. Same gift we saw last episode. The hat looked like it's too small for her head. She puts the boots on her feet, and they seem to fit. And they do a little do-si-do dance. Then he starts screaming, let's go! She's here! Let's go! And what I would like to know is, does South Dakota have a disturbing the peace law? Because somebody needs to call the police on him, because why is he screaming like that? If I was there, he would be disturbing my peace. I don't like that, all that screaming. That was unnecessary. He's just acting up for the camera. Stop it. And so they're driving to the house, and he's showing her this dry land and said, oh, look at that, look at that. And she's not impressed. And neither am I. Why would you be impressed with this dry land? He's proudly showing her Rapid City, South Dakota, or South Dakota, Rapid City, or however you want to say it. And she's not impressed. So they do get to the actual city part where they have beers, where they have, you can tell where my mind is, where they have bars and, you know, shops and stores and restaurants and things like that. And she says it's not like where she came from, because there's lots of cars, there's nobody walking around, and the buildings have story, like 1 story, 2 stories, and it's totally opposite from where she's from. So Jabri asked her if she's nervous, and she said she's nervous to meet his mother because she wants his mother to like her. And I say, this is my advice to you, Miona. Be nice, be kind, be respectful, and she will like you. And since you won't be working, offer to do stuff around the house. Be helpful to her around the house, because she can't be taking care of, clean up after you and Jabri. You know, show some gratitude and don't treat her son like crap, and she'll like you. So Jabri tells her to be herself. No, don't tell her to be herself, because as far as the mother knows, Miona's personality is yelling and screaming at you and cussing you out. So don't tell her to be herself. Tell her to be, not to be bitchy, and be nice. Tell her to change her ways. Tell her not to scream and yell at you and cuss you out in front of her mother, your mother. Their other issue is that Jabri wants to stay in South Dakota for 6 months, and while he gets on his feet, and Miona, she wants to move somewhere popping like California, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her one bit. So they get to the house. Miona meets the parents. They hug her. They welcome her to South Dakota. Jabri's stepfather told the camera that he liked Miona. He said she seemed sweet, nice, and sincere. Now, I don't know if he had just met her when he said that, but the cameras made it seem like it was right after he met her, he said that. But it could have been a week since he met her that he said this. We don't know, because TLC like to move scenes around. But that's what he said. The mother said she didn't want to like Miona, but she does. So they sit down to eat lasagna. And Miona told them that she saw pictures of South Dakota. And she saw perfectly square pieces of land, and then one house in the middle of all the land. And Jabri told her that that's prairie land, and that's how they'll be living. That's where they'll be living. And she said, absolutely not. And I think he's just playing around with her, because there's absolutely no way a young man like that will want to live in that type of environment. No. Young man like him, he wants to be where the excitement is. So I think he was just messing with her. So the mother tells Miona that the weather is going to be getting cold soon. And Miona told Jabri that when it gets cold, they'll just go to California. He said no. He said he wants to spend Christmas with his family. So she said, well, after Christmas, then we can go to California. He said no. He said, we're not going to California until Easter time. And she said, that's not fair. And in the confessional, the mother said that she's worried that they are not on the same page, and that's going to cause problems in their relationship. So the mother tells Miona that she expects her to help cook and to help take care of the house, which is reasonable. The mother tells them, both Jabri and Miona, that they could cook 1 or 2 meals a week, and they agree to that. So then the parents, they're asking Miona about her career goals, and she's talking to them, she's telling them, and then Jabri is getting upset that they're asking her too many questions. But that's how you get to know somebody, Jabri. You ask them questions about themselves. That's how you get to know people. But he's upset. In her confessional, Miona said she does not like living with Jabri's parents, so they are going to have to move soon, whether Jabri likes it or not. Now, I'm pretty sure she didn't say this the very first night. So she must have said this a week later or maybe a few days later. But the producers like to cut scenes and put scenes where they like to put scenes. So I'm pretty sure she didn't say that after 2 hours of being in the house that I don't like living with them when she hasn't even lived with them yet. But the producers are messy. And I think this is just their storyline. They don't have a problem with moving to California. I'm pretty sure they can move to California. They can start each start YouTube channels and make money like that because they're on a show. So people are going to tune in to watch them. And she does hair. She can do and makeup. She can do that on YouTube. He what does he do? He does something. What does he do? He can just get on live and talk. He'll get paid for that because he's a character. So, and plus they're getting paid from the show. So they don't need to stay in South Dakota until he gets on his feet. They can go straight to California right here, right now. But this is their storyline, living with the parents and seeing issues that pop up. That's their storyline. So that's what they're going to run with. So that's the end of Bree and Miona. Last but not least is Colby and Emily. We see Colby and Emily. They're putting Colby's suitcases in her car because she just picked him up from the airport. In his confessional, Colby is very excited to meet Colbin, his son. But I don't think he's going to like how spoiled his son is. His son is spoiled. They tell him that the boy is wild. Wild sounds like an animal to me. He's spoiled. Anyway, Emily, they're in a car driving, and Emily finally tells him that instead of going to go see Colbin, she wants to go have a sexy night. So she pulls out this big, huge pink panty and shows him, and he pretends he likes it. He don't like it. It's big, it's huge. I think it'd be too big if he put it on. It's huge. But she tells him that she wants to go take him to a hotel and have sex with him. And he says he wants to see his son. In his confessional, he said he wants to see his son, and she's being selfish. I'm getting messages. And she's being selfish. But Colby, after a while, he decides to go to the hotel with her to have some sex. And Emily is one happy camper. So they go out to dinner. And he's uncomfortable because he's the only black person in the restaurant. In his confessional, he said in China, there were not a lot of black people. He said some Chinese were excited to see black people, and some Chinese thought black people were black because they didn't shower. All I can say to that is, wow. That's what he said. So Emily told him that he's not the only black person in the restaurant. She says, there's a black person right there. And he's like, oh yeah, right there, yeah. There's another black person. So he was not the only black person in the restaurant. There was another one. Okay. So Colby said in his confessional that he would rather be in a place with a diverse culture. Me too, Colby. Me too. So she hounds him about this cafe. Apparently, he bought this cafe for $2,000. Then when he realized he was coming to the States, he sold the cafe, he said, for $2,000. So he said he got his money back. She asked him how much money does he have with him? Did he bring to the States? He won't tell her. He says it's a surprise. You can tell he doesn't have much because if he had, more than 2,000 or 2,000, he'd probably tell her that he had 2,000. But you can tell he has no money. He has no money. And then she tells him she doesn't want to have to pay for everything. And then he asks her, what do you have to pay for? What? And she told him, I don't want to have to pay for my ring. What are they talking about? These two need to get an apartment or a studio, rent a house, rent an apartment or a studio, and buy a little car and get on their feet. They're talking about a wedding. They're talking about spending money on a ring and a wedding dress and a wedding. Where's their priority? A wedding is more important than you getting your own little apartment and a car and living your own life. Okay. So they're going to have a wedding, then they're going to still live under the parents' house because they're not going to have any money after this wedding. I don't care. You know, these two, somebody need to bang your heads together because I don't know what's going on with them. You're just two dumbasses. Then they start talking about Emily's body. She's not the same as she was when they first met, and she's she said, I just pushed the baby out, so it's not the same down there. Emily, now I had a C-section, so I don't know about anything about pushing the baby out. I had two boys, twins. I don't know anything about pushing baby out because I had a C-section. But I'm pretty sure after the baby comes out, you close right back up. Boom. You close up. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, Emily. Right? That's what happened. So you'll be all right. Relax. I'm not into these two. I am not into these two. But that is the end of my review. I will be back next week with another review. Princess on a Pillow here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.